Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I want to say that I've been to hundreds of banquets in the past 15 years of my life, and I have never been so moved than I am today in this room. And they say that everything happens for a reason and Allah has a plan. And Allah's plan was for me to be here today. I wrote a speech, and then I turned my speech around because everything that I wanted to say, based on my experience in this room today, took my heart to a different place. And for those of you who know me, sisters and brothers, I speak truth from the heart because that is the only way that we should speak every day. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, Allah gave me 3 beautiful children. A 16-year-old son, a 15-year-old daughter, and an 11-year-old daughter. Alhamdulillah, beautiful, healthy, smart, well-behaved. Everything that you can ask for in children, Allah gave to me. And I believe today that Allah gave me those beautiful and healthy children that don't require much of my time because He wanted me to use the blessings that Allah gave me to bring blessings to other people around me. Muhsen, one who shows excellence and compassion. Every day, sisters and brothers, I wake up in the morning and I thank Allah for allowing me to wake up, and I go out into the world and I serve people. And I have seen the best in people. I have seen people in poverty. I have worked with refugees and asylees. I have worked with families whose fathers have been deported and stripped from their homes, leaving single mothers to take care of their children. I have worked with young people who have been bullied and have been hiding who they are as Muslims, teaching them to love and to be proud of who they are, and for being blessed that Allah chose them to be part of our beautiful faith. I have seen many struggles, sisters and brothers, in our community. And today I reflect on where we fail as a community, where we lose our faith. And today in this room, I realized that it can't be just Chicago and Houston. We have failed our children and community members with special needs in every corner of this country, in every Muslim community in this country, in every masjid, in every Islamic school in this country. We have failed these special people. I've been doing organizing work in the Muslim community for 15 years. And I believe that Islam and our faith is not just about praying 5 times a day and praying for 30 days, 1 month out of the year. I believe that Islam is much more than that. I believe that Islam teaches us this responsibility to live our faith out publicly. What does it really mean to be a Muslim? And I know that on the day of judgment, Allah is going to ask us, what did you do with all the blessings that I gave you? Did you help those around you? Did you uplift someone around you who is down? Did you help the most vulnerable in your community? Did you walk over that homeless man? Did you turn away from that black brother that came to the masjid? Did you tell that boy with Tourette syndromes in the masjid to be quiet while the imam was doing a khutbah on Friday? Or were you the one that told the woman to go home and take their children home because their children are not welcome in the masjid? How will you answer Allah on that day? I had a test last year, sisters and brothers, when I think about what Sister Sarah said about seeing the value in people. We live in a country, sisters and brothers, that doesn't always see the value in everyone. We don't see the value in Black people in America. For 450 years, we have continued to marginalize, to push Black people into the margins of our society. Poverty, negligence of their education systems, high unemployment rates, drugs, and we continue to go on with our lives when there are people living in our own communities, in our own societies, who we walk by every single day and we say it is their fault for the conditions that they are in. Last summer, on August 9th, 2014, a young Black boy in Ferguson, Missouri, was shot by a police officer dead on the streets of his community. And I've had many debates in the Muslim community about what Mike Brown did before he got shot, why he got there. I wasn't interested in having those debates. What I did know, that when Allah was watching from above, I know He didn't believe that Mike Brown deserved public execution on the streets of our country. And what I did was, and I thought about it, he was almost the same age as my son. And not only did the police officer shoot a young unarmed Black boy, we left him out in the sun, it was August, for 4.5 hours, sisters and brothers. He was laying out on the streets. His mother wasn't allowed to touch him. No one from the community was allowed to come near him. And then 4.5 hours later, after he baked in his blood in the hot sun in the United States of America, an SUV pulled up, some men picked him up off the floor, and they threw him in the back of an EMT. Like he was an animal, sisters and brothers, like he was roadkill, like he was a bag of rocks. I was moved by that story. I had never heard of Ferguson before that happened. So I took an airplane and I went to Ferguson. There weren't many people that looked like me, sisters and brothers, in Ferguson. It's a small town, predominantly Black. The business owners were all Muslim. And when I went there, sisters and brothers, I realized a couple of things. The people of Ferguson were angry. And that it was okay to be angry there. And I realized, sisters and brothers, if we are not angry when there are injustices, then that is a symbol of a weakness of faith on our part. If there is an injustice happening, and you can see that injustice, and it doesn't move you inside, if you don't get angry, if you don't want to get up and do something about it, that is a weakness of faith, sisters and brothers. That led me on a journey as an American Muslim to look at my own community and the makeup of my own community. Our community, sisters and brothers, is made up of 1/3 African American. Think about that for a second. In the United States of America, 1/3 African American. And I say that to you, sisters and brothers, and I bring this story here because I'm reflecting on not just the way we marginalize those special people in our community that Allah has blessed our communities with to remind us of the blessings that Allah has gave us. But we also look down on people for many other reasons in our community. We look down on them because they're poor. We look down on them because they may not have the same education as us. We look down upon them because Allah created them Black. Even within our communities, we have people who say, oh, I'm Pakistani, but Indian. Oh, no, not the Bangladeshis. If you are Arab, you look at the Yemenis different. If you are Palestinian or Lebanon. This, sisters and brothers, happens in our community every single day. If we are to love Allah, we are to love all of His creation regardless of race, of sect of Islam, of gender, of ability or disability. If we are to say we are true Muslims, we have to make sure that every Muslim in our community and every non-Muslim in our community has access to everything that we have access to, if we have the power to give them access to the things that we have access to. Sisters and brothers, this work that Muhsen does is not easy. Sometimes I come home to my children at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, and my children are already asleep. And I stay up at night and I cry to Allah and I say, I want to be home with my children more. But then I think about all of the things out in our community and how there are not enough people, like the people who are behind Muhsen, like the people who are running our community-based organizations. And I wake up again in the morning and I wake my children up, I get them ready for school, and I go back out into this world. Because I believe that Allah wants us to make this world a better place. And I want to prepare myself to my Lord to say that I did whatever I could, everything in my ability, to make my community a better community, to be a better Muslim, and to take care of those around me if I have the ability to take care of those around me. Sisters and brothers, this is very simple. It's about dignity. It's about allowing every single person around us to live a life of dignity. Think about that, sisters and brothers, dignity. How important it is for us to feel dignified and to think about how you want to be treated is the way we need to be treating other people. When I see someone with a disability, the first thing that I say is Alhamdulillah. That person was put there in my presence to remind me of the blessings that Allah has gave me personally. That person has a purpose on this earth, but some of us have not uncovered what that purpose is. We are blessed in our community to have parents like Juhi, who stand up here in front of you with dignity, standing tall and proud on behalf of their children, who, like we are talking about today, are not less than us. They are special, sisters and brothers. These are special people that were created by Allah. We have courageous people like Sister Sarah has probably accomplished more than I will ever accomplish in my whole entire life. And we say that she lacks some sort of ability. What she did was, sisters and brothers, as she took a disability that Allah gave her and she amplified the blessings that Allah gave her that pushed her farther than many of us in this room. The way that I work, sisters and brothers, when I go around the country and I go to masajid, is I evaluate that society by the way it treats the most vulnerable of that community. If I go to a masjid and they tell me the way to the women's area is to go through a back door or through the basement, that tells me a lot, sisters and brothers, about that community. If I go to a masjid where they tell me, we don't like when children come here, and I ask, why are there not children here? Oh, we tell the mothers, don't bring the children to the masjid because they are loud and they are running around the masjid and we can't hear what's going on. Do you know what that tells me, sisters and brothers? That 10 years from now, 15 years from now, do not blame our children when they question Islam, when they don't want to practice Islam, when you are shutting them away from the masjid when they are children, sisters and brothers. This is how I know the status of a community based on how they treat their women, how they treat their children, and the most vulnerable of the community. Sisters and brothers, I am leaving here today to go back to New York as a person who runs a direct service organization that serves new immigrants, people who live under 150% of the poverty line, people who live 6, 7 people in a 1-bedroom apartment in New York City because they can't afford to live there. There was a segment of a community, sisters, that I wasn't looking after. And I'm thinking to myself now, how many people do I know in New York City who have children with disabilities, who hide their children from our community because they don't want to hear the hurtful things that we heard today in this room? I am committed to working with Muhsen to see what I can do in New York City. And I'm asking you, sisters and brothers, today, that not everyone here can be an activist. Not everyone here can run an organization. Not everyone can stand here up on the stage, but each and every single person in this room is here today because we can all support Muhsen. Think about this for a second, sisters and brothers, when Sister Julie was showing us a presentation. Here is a child who is learning Quran because someone donated to Muhsen that then created a program for this child to learn Quran. How many blessings, sisters and brothers, for those donors, for those teachers that are allowing these young people to learn Quran? How many blessings for every letter that that child recites, for every word from the Quran that that child recites? How many blessings, sisters and brothers, will we get for every mother that after years of not coming to the masjid will start coming to Jum'ah prayers? How many blessings will you get for every footstep that that mother takes to go into that masjid with that child? Think about that, sisters and brothers. This is not about what you're doing for Muhsen and what you're doing for those children. It's about what is your investment in what Muhsen and those children are going to do for you in the akhirah. This is how you need to think about your support for Muhsen today. I want to tell you, sisters and brothers, one more time that I am moved to the deepest of my core. And I thank you, Muhsen, for bringing me here today. I thank Allah for making it in my plans to be here today, to be touched in a way that I've never been touched. And I vow to you today that I will continue to promote the work of Muhsen, that I welcome you to New York City. I welcome you to come and move every human that I work with in New York City, because I know that we need a Muhsen in New York City. We need a Muhsen in every city in this country, and every child in our community deserves Muhsen, deserves the people behind Muhsen, and deserves the supporters like you that are going to make this evening successful, sisters and brothers. Brother Sheikh Omar Suleiman is going to come up after me. But before he comes up here, sisters and brothers, I want to go back to New York City and I want to tell a story. I want to tell my fellow Muslims in New York City to say, listen, I went to Chicago and I went to this amazing organization and I was in tears from the beginning of the night, and I am deeply moved. And people know me very well. You know how I speak. This is not who I am on a daily basis. I am seriously moved and I'm holding back every emotion that I'm holding in my body today. And I want to tell them I went to Chicago, and Chicago brought it out tonight. Chicago stood by Muhsen, and Chicago raised $250,000 tonight for Muhsen to continue to do their work and to come to places like New York City. I want to tell that story, sisters and brothers, so please join me tonight. Put your iman in the work of Muhsen. Put your iman in Allah and know that your investment tonight, sisters and brothers, is more for you than it is for the work of Muhsen and for the people that will benefit from Muhsen. Thank you so much, sisters and brothers. Assalamu alaikum, and inshallah I will see you again soon.